The Peugeot 3008 is a crossover that impressed us a lot when we tested it in September 2017. We haven't had a Peugeot in a while for a long-term test, so we figured we just had to get this for 12 months. And driving that for the past 12 months has been our editor, Terence Steenkamp. Terence, thanks for joining us today.
Pleasure.
So yeah, you've been driving this 3008. Tell us more about the spec and which engine you got for the 12 months.
So this is the 1.6 THP Active automatic, which until recently when they added a 1.2 was the entry-level model in the range. It's great. I think it's the best buy in the 3008 range, and I'd like to explain to you why.
Well then, I think it's best if you start by telling us about the styling of the car.
I think it looks spectacular in a market where a lot of crossovers, especially the mid-size ones, look a bit similar. This is a very unique look. I was a bit worried when we ordered it in white in the active spec with these smallish 17-inch wheels, but it drew so much attention in the year that I drove it. So one of the things I recognize, and maybe because there's so few, sadly, on our roads, is that 3008 drivers wave at each other, like we're driving Defenders or Jimneys.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I think people love this car. I think they buy it, it's unique, it's left of field, and they're quite proud of their purchase because it isn't a mainstream brand.
Well, you know, another thing that stood out for us in our test was definitely, I think, the highlight of the car, which is the interior design.
Oh yeah, I think it's the best in its class.
Let's step inside the cabin and see what it looks like.
Cool.
Okay, so first impressions for me is it's like space fighter jet look. It's really new age.
It might have something to do with the this row of toggle switches, really high transmission tunnel, splitting driver and passenger, and the finishes. I mean, this gear stick is odd. Works well, but it looks quite strange. It's a really futuristic interior, but it backs that up with real substance. There's the quality of the fit and finish. I think is class leading. Different materials that are really interesting. The design is great. They've moved a lot of the controls over to this touchscreen. So it's quite a clean, uncluttered look.
Okay, so one of the many criticisms we've had with Peugeots in the past is the size and the position of the steering wheel and how it blocks the gauges and you don't actually know how fast you're going when you're driving. Have you had the same problem with this, or has it been?
I actually haven't. Unlike the 208 and the 2008, which are quite a bit smaller and lack this range of adjustment, this car is adaptable to drivers of many heights. I don't know if many of our viewers know, but Peugeot calls it the cockpit, and it's unique in this market where the instruments are placed above the steering wheel. So it's got a small steering wheel, instruments on top. I have never found it a problem, and nor I think have anyone in the car team commented on that. So it seems to, the second round of it seems to work a lot better than the original cockpit.
Well, Terence, all that's left now is for us to take it for a drive, so...
I'm excited, I love driving this car.
Great, let's head out. Okay, Terence, so start us off with that engine and transmission combination. How's it worked on a daily basis?
It's great. It's got a 1.6 turbo petrol that delivers 121 kilowatts and 240 newton meters. So there's a lot of torque low down. So you don't often stray into the upper reaches of the rev range. It pairs really well with a 6-speed automatic. That kind of just shows that you probably don't need more than 6 speeds. It's 0 to 100 is less than 10 seconds. Overtaking acceleration is nice and strong, even if the car is fully loaded. It's a great pairing.
And it's given a plush ride, I'd imagine, from what I can tell from when we tested it. This one's got slightly thicker tires as well, so I'd imagine it's even better than that.
Yeah, it's kind of one of the reasons why I chose this active model. It's on 17-inch wheels with 65 profile tires around it. So it's got a fairly soft suspension tune as it is, but having that extra rubber just cushions it a bit more. It's definitely one of the best riding cars in its class.